Welcome to A Goodin Family Affair, where love, family, and faith come together. Meet David and Dr. Cynthia Goodin, who with 35 years of marriage, 9 kids in a blended family, and over 25 years of experience helping couples just like you. Whether you're navigating marriage, parenting, or blending families, this is the place for honest advice and practical tools to build stronger relationships. Let's get started, because love and family are always worth it.
Well, hello there. My name is David E. Goodin, and I am one half of A Goodin Family Affair. My wife, Cynthia Goodin, is not going to be with me in this particular episode, but she is the other half. And basically what we do is we talk about family. Now, we have a blended family. We kind of specialize in blended families, but we also touch base with anything basically that has to do with relationships. So today I have a guest with me. And her name is she says, Bria Janelle. We're going to talk about relationships and some of the things, and especially for us who come up in households where we didn't grow up with our fathers in the house, per se. Okay? So please meet and welcome Miss Bria Janelle.
Hey, guys.
Hi, Bria. How did we meet?
All right. How do we meet? You want the real story?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I called the church and I was like, hey, I always feel like being in a healthy space, it's okay to have like a board of advisors and counseling. And so I called the church and was like, hey, I feel like I'm in a healthy space, but I'm just going through things in life, just in getting to the next level of career-wise and wanting to identify blind spots in my life. And so I was like, I'd love to speak with a spiritual advisor or a counselor. And somehow nobody else picked up the phone but you.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Boy, was you lucky.
It was me. And so I think I called, like you and I talked and you were like, you know what? Every time you tell me this all the time, I tell you what, why don't you come into my office and then we can have a deeper conversation? Because at the time I was going through a breakup. And you were like, come to my office. So I came into your office and you was like, you know what? I got a good little squad of kids, but you could be my last child. And I said, oh, fantastic. And so you adopted me without necessarily saying it. And I was like, hey, I'm your child. And you said, okay, bet. And then that's how we got here.
No, you actually bogarted your way into my family.
No. I got the invite. You called me. And you called me back. Well, no. You invited me because you were like, what day works for you? And I came up to the church. I still remember what I was wearing. I had a gray Nike outfit on and I had my Air Forces on. And I came in there and was like, hey, it's me.
It's me.
And then I looked and I was like, I need help identifying blind spots. And you told me, you don't really have no problems. And I said, oh, okay. I guess not.
What kind of blind spots did you think you had?
Ooh, I would say, I feel like career-wise, I always say this, career-wise, I feel like I'm jumping off of the diving board into the 12 feet doing all of the acrobatics. When it comes to personal-wise, I feel like I am in relationships sitting at the kiddie pool with floaties on, kicking my feet, trying to really get into the mix of things. And so it's like, how do I go from the kiddie pool to the 3 feet at least, and so that's been my thing of like, I just felt like I was off balance between my career life because I over the past 15 years have poured every ounce of what I had to do, because when I have a goal in mind, I go into and saying, I'm gonna give it my everything. And so for me, it was just like, that's what it's been for the past 15 years, is perfecting my craft so much that I create so much space. And I feel like I've created enough space between me and any competitor in a sense that now I can go back and look at my personal life. But when I looked at my personal life, I'm like, girl, you got to grow up. So that's why I came to see you.
Oh, wow. So you're what, 36?
36. You telling my age? Good Lord. Yes, I'm 36.
Okay.
And look good. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you got a little something going on.
The high school and college kids still ask me for my TikTok, so I feel like I'm in good shape,
Yeah, I guess. I mean, you might be all right. You might be all right. Okay. Well, then, so you decided to really get the personal side of your life together now.
Yeah.
Because you want the balance.
Yeah, it's a balance. And then I feel like I've been able to, God's blessed me to do a lot in my career. And I want I believe in being in alignment. And like, I don't want to be like the rich auntie or like the mad black woman who has very successful in their career, but has nothing to come, or has no one to come home to, right? I always tell people my career is a part of what I do. It's not who I am.
Okay.
And so I just have had an opportunity to really step back and being in a comfortable space now and saying like, okay, I've got the house, I've got the cars, I've got the career. I want the family. And so that's how I felt like I just needed to work on it. And light bulb went off at 35. I was just like, hey girl, 40 is right around the corner. Like, what are we doing? So,
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Wow. So, you got a lot of wisdom for such a young lady.
I try.
Because all that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because if you got it, but if you got it all, but you don't have that part,
You're right.
Then something's always missing.
Yeah.
Okay. So I remember, let me ask you this. Did you grow up both of your parents?
I did not. I grew up in a single parent home, which I think is why for me it's been such a motivation, right? Because like growing up, like I watched my mom be both mom and dad to me. I watched my mom, my dad left when I was 2 years old, and then I watched my mom get remarried to another a man who was just like, this, it wasn't it either, right? And so like I watched her be mom and dad, and it was just like that was something that I didn't want for myself. And I always believe in like everything, like a lot of things I want to be the first dad in my family and breaking generational curses. Like, people always say it stops with me. Like I wholeheartedly believe that a lot of the generational curses in my family stop with that last generation. They stop with me, right? And so I just wanted to do something different, right? And so not growing up with my dad really, I feel like I learned a lot from my mom, but then like as I'm dating, I see where it shows up in blind spots. Like, things that a man is supposed to do is like, well, I can wash my own car, or I can do this. And it's just like, no, that I don't have to be so like, dominant in a sense. So just learning to be more of a submissive, but I feel like I'm learning to submit to a man who's willing to surrender, which I think is, people don't understand that.
Okay. Now, what is a man that is willing to surrender?
So I think it's just understanding, giving my perspective, right? Is giving me a space where I can be like vulnerable, have a safe space, not having to operate in like that alpha energy that I always have to do. Like I work in a male dominated industry and I'm in the top 1% in the world of what I do. So I'm constantly having to be on like defense mode. So like surrendering as I submit is being like, okay, like I understand who you are, but let me try to make life a little bit easier in order for you to be able to rest in your femininity, and being like that house kitten per se, and just being able to be me, just the little girl that's on the inside of me. I think that's when, to me, is what like surrendering and submitting looks like.
Okay. Do you think the lack of relationship with your father has affected your relationship on the dating scene?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Because I feel like my biggest issue with a man is he doesn't feel like he knows where he can add value into my life, because I'm such a do it myself, right? And I'm an only child. So I'm like, if somebody doesn't do it, if he doesn't do it, then I'm like, I'm going to do it myself, right? And so I think for me is like sometimes like it takes like an insecure man is not going to approach me. He might like slide in my DMs, but act like face to face, he's not going to approach me, because people tell me I come off as intimidating. I don't think I'm come off as intimidating at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, look at his face, y'all.
Yeah.
Does this look intimidating?
Yeah, you look like somebody that has a lot of fun.
I do, and I do.
And really, this is you all the time.
This literally is me. Like, whether I'm working, whether I'm sitting here doing a podcast, like this is genuinely me. But I think it has caused, like for me, dating has been a challenge in a sense, because like I feel like another thing is like, I feel like I'm just such a down-to-earth person. So for me, I tend to be attracted to more down-to-earth men. And what happens is it's like that regular guy, like I just feel like I'm a regular person that has a God-given talent and ability. Like I'm literally on this earth to do two things. It's to, to inspire till I expire, and literally have God's light shine through me in whatever I do. After that, I couldn't tell you what I'm good at, right? Okay. And so I think for me, it's like when it comes to dating, because I just feel like I'm just normal, right? I tend to trend toward the normal guy, but then that's when I get into issues because I'm like, our financial responsibilities are a little bit different and our social economic statuses are a little bit different. So I think that for me is kind of alter my decision making. But I also feel like I miss that day of school per se. When I say school, meaning life, when women learned how to date, right? When you learn how to commit to a relationship, when you learn what it's like to be soft in a relationship, when you allow a man to lead in a relationship.
What do you mean be soft in a relationship?
Just not being so like aggressive, uptight, or feel like I got to do it, right? You know, like I've grown up around strong women all my life. And so I've never really seen or divorced women at that. And so I've never seen a healthy husband-wife relationship. It's always, for me, it's always been open for interpretation.
Okay.
So I think from interpretation is sometimes I've gotten it right, sometimes I haven't. So, and then again, it's like there's no guide. Like everything I look at and see is always like married. When you look at social media, it's married people and this, but like there's no guide to dating and there's no guide to like singleness, right? So it's just like looking at married people, but still being in a single space. Yeah. It's hard to, you know, it's like that kid that's like, I want to be a professional athlete. And you see all this stuff about professional athletes, but nobody tells you how to get to that point. Nobody tells you the sacrifice that it takes along the way and what you have to give up just to be in that space of being a professional athlete. So, yeah.
Well, maybe you've just been saved for the right person. So, you know, maybe.
Potentially,
that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you, but the good thing about you, you know, this is you all the time.
It is.
Okay.
But people don't believe that though. It's so crazy. Like I think people feel like when they meet me, I'm supposed to be like this whole different person. I'm like, I'm me. Yeah. Like this is me.
We can tell when you come in the room. You
know, like I'm the same way, like whether it's in front of 30,000 people or 70,000 people or it's in front of 3 people. I don't change who I am as a person. It's just like, this is me and hi, you know?
Oh, wow. That is so cool. That is so cool. It's, you know what? Actually, there's so much stuff on in the last session with one of my sons. He was talking about, trying to see how he said it about that your generation has to deal with something that my generation didn't have to deal with, 100%. Which is social media.
Yes.
And all the different, everybody has an opinion on everything, you know, and he was just talking about how just all those influences, you know, that come, you know, and what you should be, how you should respond. So, and I'm probably butchering up what he said. You're going to see the replay.
I got you.
You know, and you'll love it. Okay. Just from some of our other conversations that we had, that's something you may watch it 5 times. Okay. All right. But the one with me and Cynthia that was before him, that's the best one. Okay. No. You know that. You know that. Okay. Well, that's good. Now, are you in a relationship now?
I'm dating.
You're dating?
Yes. We're gonna leave it there, but yes, I am dating.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
You trying to get up all up in my business? You don't be talking about this stuff.
Yeah.
On
Okay.
camera.
Well, I'm just wondering, just you know, just so anybody to see this, see that you are potentially, futurely, maybe taken.
I like that.
You
like how you said that.
I figured you would.
Clock that, as the kids say.
Yeah. Okay. All right. All right. Well, when that time comes, you're going to be an outstanding wife, an outstanding mother to your 6 children.
You and these 6 kids is insane.
Yeah,
Where did this 6 come from? Like, no, you better subtract some kids.
Do you think your mother's praying somewhere?
I hope not for 6. Not for 6. Maybe 6 figures or 6 commas in my bank, but not 6 kids.
All right. Oh, you know what? Something else I want to tap on. You said that, tell me about your grandfather.
Oh, yes. That is the closest thing I would say that I have to a father, that's been a father figure in my life. My grandfather has been the best of both worlds to me. He's been my inspiration from career-wise. Some people know, I don't really talk about it, but my grandfather is the first African-American to become a Green Jacket at the Masters, right?
Okay.
And so...
And what was his name?
Ron Townsend.
Okay.
Yes. So from the age of 4, he's had me sitting in boardroom meetings at the head of the table, telling me where I belong, drawing up plans. And so that's where like my business knack and acumen comes from, is my grandfather. But just he's taught me, like he showed me in his own way, like how a woman should be treated, right? And so I never feel like I had a lack or a want or a need because of my granddad. And so he's just been really that father figure to me. And I give, my mother a whole lot of credit, but I give him some credit too, just about for them balancing me, is just helping raise me, has been that balance that's been the best of both worlds, one, and then two, allowed me to be in a space where it's just like, I feel like the path that I could have statistically gone down, I did not. And so I'm grateful for both of them.
Wow. Well, there's a lot of us that are grateful for both of them too. Okay. Because now we got Bria.
Hello.
Okay. Where did Bria Janelle come from? Is
Janelle's, no, yeah. So my full name is Bria Janelle Smith.
Okay.
And so, funny story. So I used to go by Lady B, like when I first started radio. And for me, it was like, I walked into the radio station at Streets 94.5, and the program director was like...
Was that in what city?
Here, in Atlanta.
Okay.
In Atlanta. And so the program director was like, I hate your name. I don't like Lady B. It sounds old. It doesn't sound original. And so for me, it was just like, okay. So I'm like going over. I'm like, what do I call myself? What can I call myself? My mom was like, why don't you just use your name? And I was like, So I just didn't want to go by Bria. And then Janelle is actually my middle name. Both of my parents, their middle names start with J's. So that's where the Janelle came from. So Bria Janelle, and it's a trademark name. I own it, and it is taking me around the world.
That is good stuff. Good stuff. And now you're even more famous than what you were, because now you can tell people that you know me.
Absolutely.
Personally.
I'm like, what would I do if I was not sitting here right now? Like,
sitting at McDonald's eating a Happy Meal.
Something.
Yeah.
But because I am sitting here with you, do you know my followers are about to go up? My status is about to go up. I might even finally get my White House invite.
You know what? It's amazing the wisdom that you have. At such a young age.
It is. God is good. So
He is. But you know what? You took something else from your grandfather too. Is that don't you have a nonprofit where you're teaching young women of color how to play golf?
Yes, I do. So it's called Her Shot Golf, as you can see the logo. Y'all see right here.
Okay.
So that's actually an animated animated picture of me playing golf that it turned into a logo. So my grandfather introduced me to the game of golf, which has, it's opened up so many doors in such a small amount of time. And I told you my goal is to inspire until I expire, right? And with Her Shot Golf, it's making golf, as you said, more accessible and engaging for young women of color. So it's between the ages of 11 to 18. We have a partnership with the PGA Reach, which is like the foundation arm of the PGA of America. And so for us, what we're doing is I went to them and I said, what happens if you were to eliminate the barriers to entry and create equal opportunity for young women, particularly young women of color in golf? What would happen? So it's a free 6-week program that we do for girls. It's an application-based program, so it's not like you just register your kid and sign up. Like, it's an application-based program, and then they have to do an interview. Because for me, it's about teaching them life enrichment skills. Like, I'm not developing a pro golfer, but it's that young lady who gets into the corporate space who can now be a participant and not a spectator when her company has outings, right? And then when you look at statistics in the United States, it's like less than 5% of women of color play golf, and less than 1% work in the space. So what I've done is to create a space where they can see themselves. My motto for Her Shot is, I didn't see what I wanted to become, so I became her. And that's kind of career-wise what I've done is, like, I didn't see who I wanted to become in my space, so I blazed a trail, right? And I created my own lane and spaces. So the same thing with Her Shot is these young ladies get an opportunity to experience the best of the best. And so We are in our first year. We've touched a little over 80 girls so far. And my goal is a very aggressive goal, but it's to grow our program from 25 girls that we started with last year at Stone Mountain on Juneteenth. And I strategically did that because I was like, you have 4 Confederate generals on the side of a mountain, and I have a all black girl golf program at Stone Mountain. It's come a long way. So we went from 25 girls to, my goal is 25,000 new girls, introducing them to the game of golf by 2030. And then to have my own junior golf league where girls can compete amongst themselves that come through our program. So it will be one of its kind because, you know, most girls get a chance to, when they go out and play golf, you're playing against the kids from the country clubs who've been playing golf since they were 2 years old, and most of us didn't grow up in communities where there are golf courses, so we don't get introduced until later on in life. So I'm like, where's that league that focuses on just those girls for beginners? And so that's what Her Shot is, developing our second, I guess, Vert 2.0 of what we're doing. Our next phase is building out our own golf league, junior golf league. So,
You know, you sound so like you know so what you're doing. Okay. All right. Yeah. You really, really do. Now, aren't you also working with one of the colleges here in Atlanta?
I am. So from a golf perspective, so we did a golf program. We did a pilot program for Agnes Scott College, teaching the young ladies there, just kind of giving them a crash course about golf, because they are getting into spaces where, you know, golf is going to be necessary, going into the corporate field in the world. But even just a game that 7.4 million women and girls have picked up since the pandemic. So golf is becoming a growing game, and now people see like Steph Curry, LeBron James playing golf. So now everybody wants to jump into it. So for us now, it's like being ahead of the curve now, especially offering this for young girls is very unique. And then for the college girls to be able to create a mentorship pipeline for them to be able to come back and mentor our younger girls. Like I truly believe in, you know, as a former collegiate athlete, the sisterhood. So yeah.
All right. Well, I'm getting ready to ask you a real touchy question.
Okay.
And I know it's going to be hard to tell the truth. Okay? What's your handicap?
Let me tell you something. So I don't play with a handicap. And I love it. I love you ask me this. I'm like, my intent is never to play. I don't have a desire to play golf competitively or professionally, right? So I played it. I don't get a chance with my schedule to play enough rounds of golf, because I think you have to play like 20 rounds of golf in a year to get to qualify for a handicap and to compete in a tournament. I like to just be it for golf to be my introduction into the game. So like I played in my first invitational tournament. It was like a scramble, which is like best ball. But if you're asking me what I'm shooting and I'm constantly playing, I'm gonna give you like low 90s. Because I don't get a chance to get out and play.
It's not bad. So you stay in the 40s.
Nah. You know, so I'm like, if I have a couple pars on the day, I'm good. I'm not trying to go out there and compete on tour. I'm not trying to join the Sapphire Tour. I'm not trying to join the LPGA. I just want to be able to get out there, network, have the conversations, close some deals, and do my do.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
That was touchy, but I don't like that.
Well, you know what? One of the things that is really going to be a telltale for you one of these days is that you'll probably have to get on the golf course with me.
I'm ready. As long as we're not walking the course, that's fine, because I don't like walking the golf course.
Okay. No, we're not going to walk the course. But I'm saying, you say you're ready, but the only reason you say you're ready is because you really don't know what you're saying you're ready for.
When's the last time you done played golf?
I can't tell you.
Okay. That's smart, man. That's a great answer.
Yeah.
That's a great answer.
I'm not going to tell you. Okay. But I would be done played before I
bet so.
I bet you that.
Yeah.
All right, so what are some of the things you're thinking about in the future for yourself? You got any other things you're thinking about tackling? Any projects or anything?
I'd like to one day have my own platform from a standpoint of like being able to tell my own story, right? So like I don't know if it's a podcast or if it's a television show, but I feel like I've been through a lot in life. I've experienced a lot in life. Is people say it all the time, but I don't think people really understand. It's really hard being the first, right? And I feel like my story is still being written. So being able to have that platform that I can one day tell my story on. But
You're still so young.
I know. And that's what I love about it. I'm like,
it
I haven't
is.
scratched the surface yet.
Yeah, no, you really haven't.
Yeah. And so I think for me, being able to have a platform where I tell my story, but most importantly, having a international golf program, and being able to touch the lives of so many girls, right? I think golf is, as I am maturing, I've got a lot more in my tank, as they say, when it comes to career-wise and what I'm doing. But I do feel like this golf lane and avenue that I have is something like I always think about every time I have one of our new cohorts or our sessions. I'm changing generations in their lineage because I'm introducing girls to a sport that they have never even heard of or seen, right? So knowing that I could take a little girl in 6 weeks and introduce her to a game that can change her life, and that will change her children's, like that to me means everything and more. So really, just as I continue to evolve, it's just building out my golf program. And then I always wanted to own my own plane, so... my own plane and my own sports franchise. So yeah, those are my two lifelong goals.
Okay.
I'm gonna get there one of these days.
Okay, boy, you're gonna. Who knows who you marry?
That part.
You know what I'm saying?
He better be ready though.
Oh, that's, one of the things I found, actually, I started caddying when I was at a golf course, because we had one where I grew up. Just a couple of miles up the street, and probably started when I was about 15, 16. And we actually had all black group. We were called Super Slammers. And we would get into tournaments and stuff. And boy, a lot of times we'd dominate.
Really?
But one of the things that I realized, and you probably noticed too, why more people of color don't play golf, is number one, how much money it costs you to play.
It's expensive.
All right?
Yes.
But one of the things that we don't understand is that, especially when we get into it, is that golf is nothing but coordination and timing, and which is something that we've always been good at. But we tell people, like Cynthia and I, we lived in Jacksonville, we stayed in 2 country club communities, so we always played. So when Cynthia started playing, first thing I had to do was take lessons.
Yeah.
Okay, don't go out there and try to wing it and figure it out.
Yeah.
Okay,
golf will embarrass you and humble you.
That's right.
Quick.
That's right. So she took lessons, and I got a couple of videos of her with her swing, what she was doing, and she was at the driving range, but she really got good at it. It wasn't like, she was just like a tag along, or a brain, but she really could hold her own, and could do some things, and that was fun. That was great as a couple, to be able to do that, go up and get the golf cart and go on, do what we was doing and everything. And that was great. But yeah, because it costs money. Yeah. To go out there and play that. It's not like baseball, football, basketball. You just go play. Yeah. Yeah, so I think that is really a phenomenal thing and well timed, what you're doing. And it looks like you're not going to have any problem whatsoever accomplishing that goal. So we just got to, get you on that track for the kids start coming. They start, all of a sudden they take priority. Yeah. Then everybody going to be wondering, where Bria? You ain't seen Bria? I ain't seen Bria. I ain't talked to her in a month. I ain't talked to her in 2. Then things change. Then you got to argue with your mother and convince your mother that those babies are not hers. She's not the mother.
This is very true.
So she can't be taking over your children.
This is very true.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. But for someone who has, you're definitely a success story.
Thank you.
You encourage a lot of single girls, right? Because you do during the golf, that's your thing?
Yes. And
that you do. And do you encourage a lot of young ladies that come from single family homes?
That's a great question. I don't know the answer to that. And I say that because I always have people from a career-wise that come up to me and like, oh, I want to do what you do, or I want to be mentored, or I want to be these things. And I'm like, for me, I'm still writing my story, so it's kind of hard. But I feel like I have found my lane in these little girls, being able to mentor them. And I tell people I went from 0 kids to 85 kids in the span of a year and a half.
What's the age groups?
11 to 18.
11, 18.
Yes. So I get a lot of different personalities, and I think what happens is like, especially, your generation, you guys complain about, your generation complains about like how, inadequate's not the right word, but how unprepared this next generation is. And so my thing is like, what happened is social media got ahead. So they are so far ahead of your generation when it comes to social media, especially in the last 10 years. And so people, they're smarter than half the population if you put a cell phone or iPad in their hands. So for me, it's like I found my space in my lane in mentoring younger girls and catching them early before they get older, and they've already, because like they're absorbing to everything, right? So they listen a little bit more, they pay more attention. So that's where I've kind of found my lane. But eventually I would love to like mentor, girls that come from single parent homes. I would just need to understand what is it that I'm mentoring, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So you really, well, I guess the answer is because it really didn't make any difference to you.
Yeah, and that's the thing is
what kind of home they came from.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing is like people don't understand. Is like for me, like yes, I came from a single parent home, but I don't use that as excuse to be like, oh, well, I'm this. This is why like I'm this, or this is why I'm this way. Like, for me, it was never like I didn't look at it as like a disability or a crutch. I looked at it as like a superpower. Like I watched my mom be the most strong woman I've ever seen, and it showed me a lot of the strength that I can endure, and that's what's on the inside of me. So I don't look at it as like, oh, I came from a single parent home, so like, whoa, it's me. Because I think I got the love in other areas, whether it's friendships or whether it was my grandparents. So I don't ever feel like, even though I came from a single parent home, I don't feel like there was a lack, which
you don't feel like you're missing anything.
I don't. Yeah. I went to top private schools. I played sports. I had an opportunity to.
What kind of sports you play?
Basketball. I played softball in high school, and I played.
Were you any good?
I was good at softball. I was good at softball, but I was great in basketball. So I played college basketball for 3 years. I played at Mars Hill University, which is a Division II school. Let me tell you, anybody that's watching this, look at me. Your grades are important. Let me tell you, your grades are important. I had a lot of Division I offers, but when I was in high school, my focus was on like basketball, then boys, and then books, and so I ended up having to go to a Division II school because of my grades. But I got recruited by a lot of Division I schools, and so stay in school, kids.
Okay. Wow.
But yeah, I played basketball. But I think basketball for me was just the gateway to get me to where God ultimately has me to go, because it introduced me to one of the greatest mentors that I ever had in my life, which was Maya Angelou. And so for me, that just allowed me to be able to really ultimately get to where I am now. That was just I could relate to a lot of people by being a woman in sports. And so that's why. Yeah, but I was good in basketball.
Good stuff. Yes.
Okay.
Well, I tell you what, I'm gonna let you off the hook here because we're really kind of closing out.
Okay.
But I'm gonna allow you to do something.
Okay.
All right. Now you've never done anything like this here before. Okay. All right. I'm gonna allow you to ask me a couple questions. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Now, you've never interviewed anybody like me.
You right.
Okay.
I done talked to you on the phone, but I ain't never interviewed you before. That's different.
Okay.
You put me on the spot.
Okay.
I would say to you, first and foremost, is if you could go back, because we know you have a village, right? If you could go back to your village, particularly your daughters, and you had to apologize for, say, one or two things of being absent in their life, what would it be?
I would apologize for, number one, not being, number one, not even having I'd apologize for when they were born, not even, especially the first one, for not even having a revelation that I actually had a daughter. You know, it's like, and because of how it happened, you know, my first daughter was born, to another young lady while I was already married. So what that did is that kind of didn't give me no time with her, and plus she had a stepfather, and her stepfather was actually in the military when that happened. How I lived through that, I don't know, because he really wasn't the one. But I didn't find out, for a while, maybe for about a year, after she was born. Now, that and she went through a lot in her life early because of that and me not being there, and I really have to. Matter of fact, all my kids went through, especially the ones that I wasn't there. Every time I left, my children went through something, because of that. That probably is the, because I can look back and see, that probably it's probably the most heartbreaking thing that I see, and especially when I know I don't know all they went through, but what I do know that they went through is enough, more than enough. Daughters, I tell men, and especially, I think I said this here on social media, that I did so many women wrong that were good women, good people, because I didn't mess around, But what ends up happening, how they say what goes around, come around, karma, all that kind of stuff, that, those kind of things. When you see your own daughters get into relationships, with guys, and that, no, this just ain't it. Girl, how come you can't see this? What are you doing? And all that. And ain't nothing you can do about it. Matter of fact, the more you try to save them from, and you try to tell them, the closer it pushes them to them. That right there, I think there's a lot of men that it's clear. Like, you just don't say it, but you just see it. But I was just so, I had to be maybe with my first 4 kids, shoot, not 4, all 6, especially the 5, I had to be the most unprepared to be a father man, even though I was for years, of anybody I've ever seen. And a lot of that is coming out of drugs, and it just takes your mind, and it's really it was a wonder I was even alive, to see them, but right now I'm proud of my girls, I am. They some bad girls, and very articulate girls too. Okay, but I love who they are, I love where they are, I love them individually. And I've actually learned to love all my children and look at them individually, all 9 of them. I just see things, and because they're all different, but they're just all great. And here's the thing: it's one thing to have a good son, to have a good daughter. It's another thing to know that they're good human beings. They just ain't gonna do nothing crazy. They think about other people and think about that. And, when you see that in your kids, then that's something to go. And then if they send you a cash app on your birthday, like I got a birthday coming up September 3rd, you know what I'm saying? I think I got
shameless plug.
You know what I'm saying? I got one of the kids in the house. They got, so when they cash at me, something like that, that makes it even better. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
To do that. But I think that, yeah. And you know what? One of the things that, matter of fact, you know what? I got somebody I'm gonna ask that question.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask him that question.
Okay. I got another question for you. I can ask you.
I don't even know now.
You thought, hey, listen, you got an interview over here now. All right, big dog, you pass the mic to the right one.
I'm gonna give you one more.
Okay. What advice, you've been married for 38 years and counting, For someone who, you know my background, you know me, what advice would you give to me when dating? And then what advice would you give to a man who is pursuing me? Understanding, you know a lot that comes with me. But what would you say? What would be your evaluation? I'm very curious to hear.
Number one, one of the things for the guy, I would hope that beyond the glitz and the glamour, that he would see just the innocent, awesome, loving, caring, down to earth, where the little things that can't be bought mean the most to you. Okay? And to be able to and has to get to know you, your love language, and be able to adapt, to that. A lot of us men, what we have to do is, because that's like Star Trek, gets us in the areas that we've never been into before. It's not an excuse to not do it. It's not an excuse to not try. It's not an excuse to just get it done.
Like, what dating advice would you give me? And as all that comes with me is like, as
if you was my daughter.
If I was your daughter, well, wait a minute, time out. I done sent you a Father's Day card.
Right, you did.
I sent you a cash out.
Oh, you did. All right, you bought your way in. Okay.
I'm like, wait, I had to uncross my legs for a second. Like,
you did.
You
did. You bought your.
Excuse me?
Yeah, you bought
Flip
your way
this
in.
table.
And we're not done yet.
Okay, I just make sure.
Okay,
sorry.
we're not done yet.
Okay,
we got other stuff coming.
That was my inner child coming out. Sorry.
There you go. Okay. What I would say is, with the guy, all right, because you're going to be a one and done. You don't get married to one day divorce.
That part.
You're looking for you're going to be a one and done. All right. So I would say iron out the kinks now. See, because here's what happens with a lot of people who end up getting married. They end up breaking up for reasons, for things that they didn't pay attention while they were dating. They didn't pay attention to what they saw and what they heard right in front of them. And because sometimes when it gets into relationships, somebody we really care for, we get into wishful thinking. Well, you know what? Once we get married, we'll do this. That's all right. When I get him, I can do this. When I get her, I'll be able to change. I'll be able to fix this. I'll be able to. No. Don't do that. No, you do it then, because you want to be a one and done. You want a one and done man. That's not doing that. But your biggest assignment for each other is trying to outplease the other one. Not to see how much you can get pleased or how much you can get out of it. Because, see, a lot of people don't know that the greatest kind of love that there is not love that comes to you, but it's love that's able to come freely from you to another person. That's what it's about, because you have so many people in relationships that can be together for years, but only get 25% of what that person had within them to even give the person that they with. Because you didn't think that you had that kind of safe space, And then I heard somebody say, I can't remember who it was, is that how people respond to us, we train people how to respond to us by our actions, by what we do. I've trained my wife, things that when she, in some areas, if she doesn't respond, the way I was expecting her to, because there's something that I did that, it trained her, that way. But if you can just get, when you got two people, you can just start with a clean slate, and you really don't have any baggage, like, children here, children there, or something like that. Everything about the relationship should be about the other person, but you got to be able to hear. And when a person tells you what it is that they need you to be and what they need. When the person tells you that, don't try to act like you heard what they said, but you know what they really saying. The person just told you what they need out of you to please them, and where you check all the boxes. So it can't get easier than that. It's an open book test. But if a person, when a man tells a woman what that is, and when a woman tells a man, what that is, and for some reason they just can't do it, it tells you something. Because see, when you don't do something, if you don't say something, you said it. If you don't do something, you said something. So if you really love a person, and especially act like it, and it should be a priority. One of the things my wife told somebody yesterday is that she knows one of my biggest weak spots is if my wife wants something. Because I know what she wants and what she needs before it even come up that she need to ask somebody to get it. And I'll do it because I pay attention to that. So she does. And I'm talking about from like when we go to bed, I know that she's going to look over on the nightstand and she's going to see, does she have a stick of gum? Okay. So if there's none in the house, I got one in my pocket. And what I do, I just put it on the nightstand. Like last night, she asked for a stick of gum. I just reached on my nightstand and just gave it to her. Because I know that. I see that if she's out of water, I just see that she's out of water. I just automatically go get another one, take that one and get it. She ain't asked for nothing. Or if I see she needs something, and I say, let me go to the store and get this here. Because I pay attention to the other person. Not always wanting to be the person. Now, it feels good to get that back. Okay? Because most people that treat you like that, what they're doing is that they're showing you how they themselves want to be treated. But a lot of times with couples, we miss that, altogether. So I told a story about a couple that this was we were in Jacksonville, and a couple came in for counseling. No, it was I had them. They came in for counseling, and what had happened is that the wife had left a note for the husband on a mirror, and she said, no, he came in. That's what she wasn't there. Okay, he came in, and he was crying. And he told me about this note that his wife left for the mirror, and she said, "Thank you for being, the man I always knew that you was. Thank you for caring for me. Thank you for being sensitive to the things that hurt me or things that I need, and I didn't even have to say it, but you picked it out." And she said, "Thank you for the places that you took me, that we went, and so on and so forth." And he said he actually had the paper with him when he came in my office. And I just sat there and I read it. I was trying to see where it was going because it looked pretty good. And but he's all choked up over there. And he said he called his wife, and he said, "Hey," he said, "I saw this note that you got, on the mirror." And he said, "Did you?" He said, "Was you talking about me? Was this meant for me?" And she said, "Yeah, it was meant for you." She said, "It was all the things that I had hoped you did that you never did." And it just had an expiration date, and I'm gone. And I just wanted you to know why I left.
That's tough.
Yeah. And he couldn't get another, and she wasn't giving him another chance. Yeah. So sometimes we just miss it because we're just lazy in relationships for whatever reason. It doesn't matter how we grew up. It doesn't matter what kind of relationships that we were in previously, or what. But if you're just starting out from scratch, you got two people that don't have kids, and or if somebody got one or what, but if you got two people that decide to get into a relationship, And you talking about, like a done. You're not getting in it to try it. Like, no, this is what I want to do.
Right.
With my life. There shouldn't be anything, that you don't know about the other, that you're not proactive in meeting the needs that they have expressed to you that they need. We're very detailed in our jobs. People that pay us, when they tell us what they need. And when they tell us things that we need to improve on and so on and so forth, well, it's amazing.
How you fix it? But see, that's the thing I don't ever understand is like, how could people fix things like when it comes to like you have like performance reviews, for example, right? In work. And people can tighten up like this. But in a relationship, they'd be like dragging their feet or like it takes them forever in a day. That's what I don't understand. And I think that's what I've consistently run into. It's just like.
Yeah, they got to want to do the work. And they will show if they will show if they want to do the work. So it's somebody that you love don't have to ask you 4 or 5. If it's somebody that you love, they don't have to ask you 4 or 5 times to do the same thing because they heard you the first time. Now they might be like me and forget one time. Okay,
not you. Not President Obama's personal mentor forgetting. What?
Even me. I do that. I do. I do. But no, that's what you do when it's life is short. Life is just it's just short, and not enough people enjoy it. My wife's trying to, like I was saying about our kids have turned into our parents, and they're trying to get me and my wife to live. Just go live. We all good. We got our own house. We got our own thing. What you guys need to do is live. And then they even looking after us behind that. Not live, but when we get to the point that we can't jump on a plane and go somewhere or go do this and so on and so forth too. There's a lot of people that have grown in age, but never lived. And it doesn't matter what your past is, what you didn't do. Sometimes, you just got to get over it, and even go. I'm pushing people to go to therapy. Like I've never referred as many people to therapy as I have probably in the last 3 months. Which our daughters always was telling us that they think I need therapy. Now, who the heck would think I need some therapy?
Not me.
You know what I'm saying?
What? You never.
No, I wouldn't need no
What?
therapy. Yeah. Then they said they changed their mind because they thought about the therapist.
They will flip like in the interview.
They said, if we send Dad to a therapist before it's over, she going to be on the sofa talking about, did you grow up both your parents? What do you think? So they said they wouldn't do that to the therapist. Okay. But no, if you want something, act like it. Because either you be glad you did or you wish you had.
That's true.
So, but just make it happen. Yeah. So, but you have me in your business for a while anyway.
You don't have no choice.
Yeah,
you stuck with me like in a assigned seat.
Well, I mean, hey, your 90 days is not up. My birthday is September 3rd.
You know what?
Your 90 days is not up to September 5th. Okay.
Wait a second.
So we just had to, we had to see.
How'd I get a time slot?
I don't know. Just special. But anyway, Bri, you got anything else?
This is great. I appreciate you having me. And creating this safe space for me to be able to come and, speak on your platform. I don't take it for granted. I want to say thank you for being who you are in my life. At a point in time where I needed you the most. I don't think you probably even realize that. So I would say thank you for that. And just, it's up and it's stuck, man. And you stuck with me. So,
well,
yes.
Well, I mean, it's like I told you now, my wife and I, we're coming up on 39 years.
Yes, you did.
December the 5th.
Yeah.
December the 6th.
Yeah, we're going to have to drag her into the fold too. Bring her in. Come on now.
No, this is it. What I'm trying to do, I'm trying to see if I'm going to renew her contract for another year.
You in this contract, you have no choice, sir. You signed a life sentence.
No, I don't want her taking me for granted. So what I'm doing, I'm trying to see, she's off to a good start now because she's trying to finish strong.
Listen,
she got a pretty good chance. You know, I'm pretty sure she's gonna make it.
See, you came in all black today. They thought it was like, oh, that's cute. That's an outfit. No, that's your life sentence right there. That's your uniform for that life sentence that you got. But like, you talk about some contract.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, man.
Okay,
That's your, look at me.
All
It's
right,
like,
all right. I just playing. Okay. Anyway. Well, okay. Thank you all so much. And I definitely want to thank our very special guest, Miss Bria Janelle, who admitted on camera that she has my Cash App. And, you know, because she is just one incredible person who's doing incredible things. This is A Goodin Family Affair, and you will be able to see this on our, matter of fact, just go to the YouTube page and subscribe. You're going to be able to see all this good content. You can go to A Goodin Family Affair, and you can sign up for virtual counseling sessions or some of our books or whatever, but just do that. Either you'll be glad you did or you'll wish you had. Okay? God bless.